his desk, Sunnydale is gonna rule.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 47 of Ardcast, the Buffy recap podcast that didn't write the intro in its notes this week. My name is We watch and review all things Whedon. I'm Brandon Ellison. Jewel is muted. Doesn't realize it. Let's try that again. I'm Brandon Ellison.
I'm already struggling, obviously. I'm Jewel Rocket Rose, and I have gotten an overabundance of sleep this weekend due to an overdose of tryptophan.
Nice. And we are joined, as always, by BJ Kramer. Hi, Beej.
Hi, kids.
And actually, you guys, I'm still in jammies. Like, I'm not even fucking around. I am definitely in my leopard print. I'd love a matching set of jammies. I'm in my leopard print matching jammies with leopard print sleep.
I'm in my really cool new Christmas hat that has reindeer and snowflake and a little poop ball on top that I'm very proud of, that I got for $3 at a shop here in Tirana, Albania. And we are
How much was it?
$3.
American? How many Albanian dollars?
300 lek. It's a very easy conversion.
Oh, so every one is 100?
$1 is 100.
So when you tip someone $1, you're like, yeah.
Yeah, son.
Is it tied to the dollar, or is it just coincidentally?
It just happens to be like almost a perfect conversion. It's not exactly there, but it's pretty close.
Oh, so now you're lying.
He's rolling out Albanian Benjamins. Like, that's who he is. Just Benjamins all across.
Well, people don't really tip here, so when I tip, they are like very happy.
They're like,
very
America.
sweet. I went to a souvlaki place for dinner tonight, and I had a wonderful salad. It's lamb, I believe, but I didn't have lamb. I had like a nice salad.
How do you make
and
a
like
lamb
some
sound?
cheese. Lambs go ba.
Ba.
Yeah.
Is Albanian food a lot of Greek?
It's not really. This was specifically a Greek place. It's like Mediterranean, so there is a Greek-ish vibe to it, but it's a lot of I don't know. It's not as Greek as Greek food. It's more like Italian influence than Greek influenced, I would say. Like there's a lot of pasta.
It's all Greek to me.
Oh,
now.
Boy. On that note, let's introduce our guest co-host for the week. He's joined us a few times on the show. We always love having him here. He hates Angel almost as much as Jewel does.
Oh my
Will
God.
Van Sittert is here. Hi, Will.
Hello.
Be still my heart. Will, I'm so happy you're here with us today. I can't stand it.
I figured you would with today's episode.
Naomi said that it's like converting yen, which is also true. The yen is the exact same situation. Like 2,000 yen is $20, basically. So interesting. Not really interesting to any. Welcome to Currency Conversion, the podcast. We are discussing some really a fun episode, at least for me, of Buffy, and a tried but failed episode of Angel. So before we do that, what I would like to talk about is what we started doing last week, which is what are the things that you're watching that are new and out right now, watching or listening to or reading or any of the above. Let's start with our guest co-host, Will. Will, what you been watching?
I'm finishing up the last season of Clone Wars because I hadn't watched it yet, so I went back and did that.
That's a Star Wars thing, right?
Yes, it's Star Wars.
Okay.
So yeah, because of Mandalorian, which is fantastic, and they introduced a character who's been in Clone Wars and stuff. So
crossover episode.
Yes, big time.
Nice. Jewel, how about you? What have you been watching? Last week it was The Queen's Gambit.
Queen's Gambit. This week I've been binge watching Friendsgiving. I don't know about you, but I love a Friendsgiving episode. All of them. I think my favorite is the Brad Pitt one. My next favorite is, I take that back. The one with the turkey on the head. That is my most favorite episode ever, especially when she scares Joey. It's brilliant.
This is the dance.
Oh, yeah. Turkey dance. I also like the Brad Pitt one, especially when he's like her little, what's her name? Rachel, her little Rachel world. And like hair pops. I love it. I was like, no wonder everyone thinks you're such a good actor. Just do things like that all day.
BJ, what have you been watching?
Sticking to the same shows, watching Star Trek Discovery and Mandalorian, and I'm loving both of them.
I've heard good things about Mandalorian season 2. I haven't started it yet. I enjoyed the first season way more than I thought I would because I mostly find Star Wars to be silly.
Ooh, You know what I started watching today, you guys? I recommend highly The Flight Attendant on HBO Max with Kaylee Cuoco. I'm here for it. I'm okay with her doing this. I am fine with her going from penny to tennis star to, horseback rider extraordinaire. And now she's like the badass flight attendant who's a little slutty, but a lot of fun.
I'll check it out. The Flight Attendant on HBO Max.
It's fantastic.
I finished The Haunting of Bly Manor. I was about halfway through it when we talked last week, and I loved it.
I'm so sorry to hear me roll my eyes. I apologize.
Oh,
Brandon,
well,
I can't stand the haunted shows.
It's very much a family drama more than a haunting show.
Are there ghosts?
Yes.
Are there poltergeists?
One.
Do things pop out of places and do people scream and be scared?
Not very much.
Do they at all?
I try to think if there's jump scares. I don't think there are jump scares in it.
Or just like scary shit where you're like, fuck! No.
Well, we watch and review a show about vampires and monsters every week.
Yes,
True.
This is fun. This is not the same thing. I don't do well with like House on Haunted Hill. Things where even like 13 ghosts. I don't like shit like that.
Well, 13 ghosts is more like
real.
jump scares and stuff.
Yeah, like dumb horror.
Haunting is more like the atmosphere. The background is more creepy than.
What about The Ring? What would you categorize
that's
that?
that's jump
That's
scary
still just straight up horror. Yeah.
like kind of dumb horror.
What about the one where he locks people and they have to find each other and someone dies?
I'm sorry, what?
Saw? Like Saw?
Yeah.
That's
Saw's
straight up.
gross. Yeah, Saw's just gross. It's not like scary or creepy.
Did you ever
It's just
see The
gross.
Others with Nicole Kidman?
I love that movie. It's
That's more like what you're looking at.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So there's ghosts in The Others, and they jump out and they do scary things, but like it's not really about the ghosts.
It's not about the ghosts.
Yes, exactly.
It's not about the pasta. Well, I wouldn't get that.
And that's also I've been listening to Miley Cyrus's new album, which is fabulous. Love it. So
Cool
Oh my
beans,
gosh,
man.
I forgot yesterday. I started watching Nora from Queens. If you've not seen
it's
that,
great.
it is
with
amazing.
Aquafina. Yeah.
Her grandma is the greatest thing ever.
I tried to get into it. I got through the first 2 episodes, and I still kind of don't understand what I watched.
Oh, you're never going to. It's great though.
it's really wonderful.
I forgot something I have been watching. I've been going through all of DJ Cummerbund's videos.
Yes.
I highly recommend to anybody who hasn't seen DJ Cummerbund. Fantastic. He just did a Stevie Wonder Metallica mashup this week.
Yep.
That is terrific.
I would play him at the bar every once in a while.
Yeah, I enjoyed his Monster WAP, the wet ass P
It's
word.
WAP.
That was just like a month ago.
It's WAP. You know why? Because the song is called Wet Ass Pussy, Brandon. It is not wet on pussy. It's wet ass pussy.
Jewel, is it GIF or GIF?
I understand it was created as GIF, but it looks like GIF.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
See,
but listen.
Jules just
it's
wrong
not-
across the board.
No,
It's WAP and GIF, kiddo.
it is not. It can't be WAP because
It's
WAP.
100% WAP.
How do
You
you
have to go
how
with
do
the
you-
intention of the creator.
So I have to tell you,
Wet
when we finished our podcast last week, I went and Googled an interview with Cardi B where she talks about the song and refers to it as WAP.
She has an accent. Let us not be rude about it.
She just hates Italians. We know this.
That is a very old-timey racist expression.
Wow.
Hey, I didn't say it. Cardi B
It's
did.
spelled WAP, or WAP is what a bad word for Italians, right? It's a not nice thing to say, or is
Not
it W?
nice.
Correct.
It's a not nice thing to say. WOP. It means without
That's
paper.
why it's WAP.
But it's
It
not.
is. Stop it. It's. Let's be clear. It's not wet opening pussy. Okay, it is wet ass pussy.
Hang
That is-
on. I got to go find my steak. Hold on.
So this has been WAPcast. Thank you for listening. Or
Wow,
WAPcast.
motherfucker.
There we go. I got my get back on target.
I'm just gonna eat my salad.
Also, Naomi also
It's like
watched
the
that
Gong
video
Show.
and agrees.
Yeah.
So anywho, so that's what's happening.
Naomi, post the interview. I will find a contrary interview. It is whack. People are fucking crazy. Wet ass pussy. What? I mean, this song is called Wet ass pussy.
You got to stop eating. It sounds so bad on audio.
Especially as you keep saying
so
"wet ass
hungry.
pussy" over and over again.
This is something that I'm releasing for people to listen to. They're listening to it right now, and all they hear is you going.
I was starving. You
I
made
know.
this podcast at a very inopportune time for me.
3 p.m. on a Sunday.
She's still in her
Stop.
pajamas.
I'm still in my pajamas.
So this week we review the Buffy episode Superstar and the Angel episode Eternity. And right off the bat, I'm going to tell you that Superstar is my very favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I will tolerate no ill will toward Jonathan, just so you know. So here we go. Superstar. When Jonathan appears as Sunnydale's newest superhero, it takes Adam and Buffy to figure out that something is amiss. It's a nice little, beautiful little description. So this episode opens in a really interesting way. It's Buffy and the gang going into like a vampire den, and they get there and they are overwhelmed by how many vampires there are. And they say, well, we need to go get some help. And they show up at this beautiful mansion, you know, with ornate decorations, and sitting behind the desk is our friend Jonathan, who is there to help them. Now, Jonathan, Jewel, do you remember the character of Jonathan? I know that you refer to him as Doyle.
His name is Doyle. He's from Gilmore Girls, and I understand what he's doing here. I understand he has a different name in this capacity. No, I never got him confused with Green Doyle, as I like to call him.
Yes, Dead Doyle.
From Angel.
Yes.
I don't get them confused. But he's Doyle. He will always be Doyle. If I met him in person right now, couldn't tell you what his name is, but I definitely know I would call him Doyle.
Danny Strong.
Doyle.
Well, what do you remember what the last situation we saw him in was before he returned for this episode, Jewel?
He was in high school with them.
Yeah, and he was in the bell tower ready to commit suicide.
No,
right,
the last
he was going to off himself.
Well, yeah.
the last is giving the award to Buffy at the end.
Yeah,
of,
the class protector award, which
He
made
gave
you
her the-
cry. You texted me and said that made me cry.
It
did.
That was moving. Why couldn't this episode have been like that?
The first, so this is the first that we see Jonathan back since he gives her that award, and
which is crazy that it's the first time he's back and it's all him.
Yeah, exactly. And the opening credits are just, it's the Buffy theme song with all the Buffy actors, but it's shots of Jonathan doing action movie shit during the opening credits. They completely wrong at the credits.
I counted because I have problems. I kept track, and there are 10 editions of Jonathan in the opening credits.
Yes. And I love it. So they're all, the gang with Jonathan is over at Giles's house in the next scene. And they are practicing hand-to-hand combat. They are looking at weapons. They're talking about whatever. Willow pulls up a schematic of the vampire's lair, and she sees there's only one way to enter it, but Jonathan knows a better way. So Jonathan is like, out of nowhere, this like super brilliant, like military consultant and celebrity and writer and basketball player.
And star of the Matrix.
And star of the Matrix, though he never left town.
And trombonist.
Trombonist and singer, beautiful singer.
Do you know who sang, actually?
It was Brad Kane, who played Tucker in the episode where the Hellhounds are summoned to the prom. He plays the guy that summoned the Hellhounds, and he's also the singing voice of Aladdin.
What I'm hearing,
right,
him. I'm hearing that Joss reuses a lot of actors that he likes for
Correct.
characters.
Yes. Not
I want to point out
Ray
that
Stevens or whatever.
because I know our fans are going to be worried, I cut my finger. So.
Yeah, BJ cut his finger. He bar fight.
Yeah, and I'm drinking away the pain.
Yes.
I'm just saying BJ's allowed to clink, but I'm not allowed to take a sip of liquid.
It's a big ice cube. It makes noise.
Your face makes noise. I'm just saying.
It does. This area.
We do see Jonathan when the school explodes in the graduation episode. He's there shielding Cordy from the explosion, so we do see her again. So yes. So all of a sudden, like, Jonathan is this insanely popular person in town, and intelligent and whatever. So they go back to the crypt. And he also plays chess against Giles and wins.
Mate and four.
Yeah, exactly. So they go back to the crypt. Jonathan kills most of the vampires. Buffy kills 2 of them, and Jonathan says, "And the second one saw you coming." And he says,
"And one got away."
And one of them got away, and he says, "But you did your best. You did your best.
You got 2 of
love
them.
how
I mean,
no one questioned him at all. No one was like, "Hey, why are we? Where did he come from? And why are we all in love with him?" No one had a question.
Did you guys notice that he has his own theme music?
Yes.
Jonathan gets a very James Bond-esque theme music.
Yeah, I did notice that.
And in fact, I noticed that when we first see him, turn around dramatically in his office chair in his mansion, the final 2 notes that are played are the first 2 notes of the James Bond theme.
Yeah.
Nice.
I knew it was right away. I knew how cheesy it was, and I knew it was some spell or something. So I was like, okay, I'll buy it for now. So I was okay with no one questioning it. I knew it was a total like some kind of ruse of some sort because it was just so ridiculous. But I was okay with that. Like that's kind of what I knew pretty quickly what I was going into.
And this episode is written by Jane Espenson, she wrote like all the funniest episodes of Buffy. Like she's the comedy Buffy chick.
Yeah.
So where were we?
Well, I'm just saying, with all due respect to Jane Espenson, I feel like we maybe have different views of funny.
I enjoyed Spike calling Buffy Betty.
Especially with the leopard print.
Yes, Betty throughout the episode.
Spike couldn't even save it for me because usually Spike, like I'm like, yes, he's here, like something great will happen or funny or whatever. Like, yes, Spike. Not even he could pull this.
No, he's Jonathan's little bitch.
But I did love that Buffy couldn't quib back at all. Like she couldn't come up with a liner at all whenever she was trying to get back to him.
Although it was interesting that Spike is very overtly attracted to Buffy in this, which we haven't gotten. I mean, there's hints, but we haven't gotten.
Are you saying that Buffy dates Spike? Is that?
I am saying nothing. I know.
But this would go back to the last episode when Faith was Buffy, the fake Buffy, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, and, I love fake
and
Buffy.
Faith like went right, and Buffy, Faith went right up to Spike and was like right on her, and he was just kind of like overwhelmed,
uncomfortable. Yeah,
right. But like totally
I'm getting funny feelings.
He likes the chase.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he likes.
He likes the chase. So like Willow and Tara are talking about are in their dorm room talking about the fight that night. They have posters of Jonathan on the wall. Riley and Buffy are talking in his dorm room, and he has posters of Jonathan.
A signed poster, no less.
Right.
And Riley is not eating the food from the initiative because he thinks it might still be doctored. And Buffy, like there's a lot of tension between Buffy and Riley, what with the whole banging of the Faith in Buffy's body thing. Which we talked about last week. I think we had different opinions on it. I certainly don't think that Riley did anything wrong. I think he was banging his girlfriend, and everyone else thinks that he was a monster.
I don't think. I am with
Brandon on this.
I don't think he did anything wrong. However, I understand why she is upset, but I don't think he did anything wrong. Sometimes you're allowed to be upset, and it's not someone's fault. It's just something happened, and you're still mad about it.
I have had girlfriends, believe it or not, and if one of them came on to me like 10 times as freaky as usual, I would not question it.
I would. I'd be like, what happened today?
I mean, I might have questions, but I wouldn't question it. You take what you get.
I understand. I get that, but I would have maybe questioned it after. I would have been like, so what was that? Like, I feel like he could have redeemed himself very quickly in her eyes if he had maybe done that and say, I figured it out after because it wasn't you.
I mean, I feel like their relationship is so like super wholesome. Like he's little Iowa boy. She's like, this is wrong. And then like all of a sudden she's like super freaky. That would put a lot of questions up where I don't know. Like
I would have asked
questions that you put aside till the morning.
But he's so like trying to be so wholesome.
A good person, BJ. Don't try to steal that from.
There is a limit of good. There just is.
I just feel like he should have. It's the same thing. Like when a girl comes home super drunk, even if it's your girlfriend, you don't take advantage of it. You let her go to bed, sleep it off, and hope that she wakes up ready to go again.
What are you talking about?
Who wants to date Will right now? Because I think it's all of us. That was the best thing you've ever said. Girl gang. Let's give him a round of applause. Girl gang.
Well, this might make me a bad person, but if someone is throwing themselves at me, even if they're drunk, I am probably going to do it.
Brandon, this is not what makes you a bad person.
No, but it's one of the things.
No, it's just something that we would appreciate as women.
Yeah, well, I'm not worried about
respect factor.
Maybe.
And
Believe it
you're
or
on
not,
mute.
Joel,
Thank you. Mute.
I have done.
Wouldn't even let him say it.
No, thank you. Team Will all the way. Go freeze yourself.
I don't know why I keep freezing, but it's just going to happen, and sometimes I'm going to be gone for a second. But I'll be back.
Maybe it's 'cause you're in a
my
third world
benefit
country.
every time. It is to my benefit because I win all the arguments.
Buffy meets up with Jonathan at the coffee shop, and they're talking about obviously all the Riley stuff. And he tells her like it's time to forgive, it's time to move on. Like, he made a mistake, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's going to be okay. And then one of his like fervent fans comes up with a book and has Karen. Yes,
Karen with a K, as if it like was Karen with a Q. I mean.
I know a Karen with a C.
Karen CH, like the God of death or whatever it is. What's Karen?
No, I know a girl named Karen Caren, and I know a Caryn as well.
Yeah.
Both of those are just wrong. Those people should kill themselves.
As someone who knows both of those people, I don't disagree.
As someone named Benedict.
I find Karens with a Y to be the most normal of all the Karens. Also, a Karen with a C is a for sure sociopath. Karen with a K, you've got to be careful of sometimes because some are cool, but others are the definition of the word Karen.
This Karen was totally a Karen.
Oh,
she was a
clear
Karen
about that.
She was a Karen.
She was super
stalking.
jazzed. She was super jazzed about getting her book signed by the guy that she's been stalking, who just walks around town all the time.
She was channeling Cordelia from the Angel episode we're about to talk about.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was the worst.
Hold on, let's not skip ahead.
Can I jump out the window? I want out. I can't do the Angel. I choose not to participate.
So we're back at the initiative. They've brought Jonathan in to find out how to destroy Adam.
Wait,
and Jonathan,
pause for a second. I don't know if you guys noticed, but when they have coffee, Jonathan just gets up and walks out, and Buffy pays, which I loved.
I didn't notice, but that's very
funny. Buffy takes cash and drops it on the table when they walk out.
I just know that Jonathan is super short, but in full fatigues.
I looked it up.
He's
5'2". Sarah Gellar is 5'4".
Yeah.
Danny Strong is a short man.
I'm like half a foot taller than he is. That's a lot.
I adore him. Jonathan noticed that Adam never eats, and that the power core that's in his chest is not natural. It's made there, and that he can't be killed by anything. He has to be completely annihilated in order to die, because this power core is the center of his power. So you can chop his head off and nothing will happen.
Other than that little bit of information to give to move it forward, there is no point to Adam in this entire episode. Like,
this is the only episode that I like Adam in.
No, because he gives disposition that we already can figure out on our own. It's worthless. Like, he basically says, "This is all lies. Why are you believing that?" And he just
but the fact that he's the one that realizes that it's a lie is what's important.
Yeah, I think that's important.
I'm just gonna say
everybody's. Why is everybody confused? It makes sense that Adam is kind of immune to this, as somebody not affected by magic quite the same way.
I just feel if he wasn't in the episode, it would have been fine. Like,
I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah.
Adam should have been a storyline in Angel. That is how bad it is. That's just
next episode. Adam shows up in Angel. No.
Yeah, exactly. Like every power cord shows up in LA, and he's got a bunch of women that he's turning into soup or something. Like, it's not. What is the point of him? Bring back the lady doctor. The bitchy lady doctor, loved her. Adam is stupid, and you know why? That's why she died. She was like, the storyline, Joss, I can't have him off me. I can't be associated with this.
Like, I love Spike being a part of the Scoob game because he's just so there, but I need him back as a bad guy. I need him so bad as a bad guy again.
I don't want him to be a bad guy. I'm fine with him joining the Scooby gang. That is fine. Go be a Scooby-Dooby Dooby. Do what you need to do.
But he's so much better than Adam as the bad guy right now. Like, Adam's just awful. They need something.
Yes.
I love Spike as the
great.
neutered asshole.
No, I do
member of the
too.
Fruity Gang. I
But,
think that's
like,
fantastic.
There's nobody out there.
How about you bring some vampires? What about bringing Darla back and have them fight? I think that would be a nice.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
We're getting there.
Yeah, Darla needs to come back. Somebody needs to come back. Somebody, anybody, just take Adam out real quick.
Adam is an unnecessary, and it's Joss. I'm sorry. You've done a lot of things really well. This is not one of them. Jane Espenson, you write this, girl. Come on.
She didn't create Adam. Don't get mad at Jane. She didn't create Adam.
Jane wrote some good shows.
I don't know, but not her.
Whose fault is this? David Greenwald? What's his name?
No, he's on Angel.
But didn't he direct this episode?
Yeah.
Did David Grossman? David Grossman directed this episode. Whoever that is.
Gross.
I don't know who he is.
It was some David guy. It was close.
Anyway,
I love that you remember seeing the word David because that didn't even register for me.
So
I was watching the credits because I was told to watch the credits.
We see that
David Grossman is a journeyman TV director.
Oh.
He's directed episodes from 1,000 shows. I'm looking at right now.
I'm sure, and I'm sure
He
he's
did
made
pretty much all of Desperate Housewives.
Can't help you there.
So we're back at Jonathan's mansion and we see the girl Karen from the coffee shop, and she's trying to, like, she has binoculars and she's outside his window trying to look at him, and she gets attacked by a really ugly demon in the rain, and she escapes and runs away. Gross
demon. He was like part crab. You know those crabs in the ocean that have the spikes and the shells on them, and they.
I thought he looked more like Yeti.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, that too. It's just a lot of fucked up things. That is what it looked like. What was that, Will? What was that, Will? Can you just maybe? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it.
So he I skipped the part where we're at the Bronze. No, I skipped the part where we're at the Bronze, where Jonathan is singing on stage, and then
the best musical performance at the Bronze of the whole show.
Yeah,
no.
like a.
Oh my god! If the Bronze always had a swing band, I would love that place.
Yeah. So Karen,
bring me some grungy Oz music any day. I will take that over your nonsense. No,
all right,
this is
I'll
not.
Fight you.
Whoa.
Karen comes to the Bronze to tell them what happened.
Get out of town.
Karen comes to the Bronze to tell everybody what happened, and they research the demon, and she says that they saw this triangle symbol on its forehead, and Jonathan tries to play it off like it's nothing. It's just an animal. He'll take care of it, whatever. Then we see Jonathan in his house with his two like hot Swedish models waiting for him upstairs.
Time out. Yeah. This will shock no one, but I looked them up. Okay, those hot Swedish models are sisters from Kentucky, and they had their voices dubbed because they are not speaking Swedish. And one of them, let's see, Shawnee Costello is famous for her performances in movies like Stripper Academy and Naked Run.
No,
that's movies that are now in my queue.
Stripper Academy.
Stripper Academy. I have got to look this up.
Could be
imagine if there
a
was
good movie.
Right?
Let's see who else is in Stripper Academy. Oh my gosh, she plays twin number 2 in Stripper Academy.
I think I know who might play twin number 1.
Name.
Yeah, Julie Costello, her sister. Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, no other names I recognize. Oh well, I guess maybe I won't watch Stripper Academy.
So we'll watch it.
So these two hot Swedish models are there, and he is going up to ostensibly have sex with these two hot Swedish models. He takes his shirt off, and he has the symbol burned into his back. That was the symbol that was described on the.
Not the one from Keith
It was
Raniere.
a silk robe.
You skipped over the whole part where Buffy and Riley dance, and that they make forgiveness for it.
Oh yeah,
that was actually kind of nice. Like the whole idea of without words, but kind of the understanding of I understand. Like we're making it work now.
What?
Yes.
It is when they dance that Riley
she says like I knew it when you were in my arms.
Like snuggle dancing.
I figured that would be yours, Jewel. That's all that teen drama love stuff right there.
I don't love them together anymore.
Well, yeah.
It's such a shame that it's so hit and miss because sometimes their interaction is so awkward and he's annoying, and then every once in a while partially redeem it with really lovely little scenes like this, but it's not enough.
The only thing that I have to add to the bit with Adam in the lair watching all the TVs and whatever is that he says that he's not going to do anything about the Jonathan situation because everything is so unstable that it's just going to fall apart anyway.
Right.
You know, like my love life. So where were we? Buffy, Willow, and Tara walking around on campus. Buffy points out that like Jonathan seems super scared when he recognizes the symbol, but Willow says Jonathan's never scared.
I gotta interrupt. I'm sorry. We have to go back to Adam for a second. When we first see that scene, there is a corpse on the ground.
Yes.
With the entire stomach like ripped open. It was like unbelievably gross. And it just kind of zooms right by it. Were you not like horribly grossed out by that? No? Am I the
not
only
as
one?
grossed out as I am by watching Joel eat on mute? There's
no argument there.
Joel, we have an hour-long podcast. Can you wait and eat when you're done?
I'm not waiting to drink.
Listen, Naomi, whenever she's on the podcast, always has a snack, and it always looks so good. So
but she always stops when we do the podcast. And then
no, she doesn't. She's on podcast, and so does Jamie.
Well,
they're subtle about it.
Let's not.
I was being subtle. I muted myself and everything.
No.
But your hair looks fantastic.
Thank you, BJ. I blew it out with my new Dyson thingy.
The thingy?
Yeah. Change the heads on it. And does things.
Everybody, Jewel has a thingy.
Mm.
Sorry, Brandon, please continue.
So Willow says Jonathan's brave. He's not afraid of anything. Don't you remember you gave him the class protector award at the senior prom?
That was so messed up. Because the whole thing is throughout this whole episode, Jonathan still, you can tell, cares about Buffy or like thinks highly of her, but he took like the one thing that meant something to him to her. That's
yeah. I mean, ultimately, it was just when it came to life or death that he finally. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but it seems like he was willing to be a dick about everything up to that point.
But I think like he still respects Buffy like throughout all this fantasy even. But then that was like one of those things where you're like, oh, that's rough because he gave it to her. And then now she gave it to him.
This is our noisiest episode ever. There are dogs barking. There is glass clicking. There is food squishing. This is the noisiest episode of this podcast we have ever made, and it's making me crazy.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna take care of the dog real quick.
Okay.
Will's gonna go put his dog down. That's horrible. I mean,
I picked mine up when he started to bark.
So Tara leaves Buffy and Willow, and she goes to a dorm room, and then she's attacked by the same monster that attacked Karen. Now, Tara's role in this season and the next season seems to be attacked by the monster of the week and then talk about it. It happens about 9 times.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I'm
gonna have to start keeping track of Tara's attacks.
So Tara identifies the demon by the symbol on his head, and Buffy has questions for Jonathan. Buffy goes to Xander's place. She wants to go through Xander's stuff. She talks to Anya. This is actually probably my favorite scene in the whole episode. Is Anya explaining to Buffy how the parallel dimensions work, and of course, the reason Anya's there is because she created a parallel dimension where Buffy wasn't ever in Sunnydale.
Right at the beginning.
But she explains it by talking about a universe where there's no shrimp or nothing but shrimp.
My note on this scene is Anya does great validation.
Yeah. She's wonderful. And Buffy has a meeting at Giles' place. She's like, he was in the Matrix. He never left Sunnydale. He graduated from medical school already, and he's only 18. And then Xander says it was effective time management, which I very much enjoyed. She asked the group, Jonathan is like too perfect, but none of them are seeing past like what she's talking about. Riley thinks that she's crazy. They all think that she's crazy. They look at the swimsuit calendar to see the mark on the shoulder, which I love. I would buy a Danny Strong swimsuit calendar today.
But I love how
100%.
Giles hid it underneath the desk calendar, like the desk calendar. He slides it from underneath there.
Under his water.
Yeah, but doesn't Buffy say like, don't you have a Jonathan calendar? And Giles is like, no.
I think that's where I hid my swimsuit issue in 1984.
Right. Every parent who hid like their Playboy was underneath the calendar on the desk. And you're like, oh, there it is.
Really? Is that where you guys hid them?
I hid mine in the floorboards actually, but I had an old house.
That's a different. Yeah, I was gonna say
when we were younger, anytime we went to like a friend's house and we went to the parents' study without fail, the father's desk had some kind of Playboy underneath that calendar every time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For those who are too young to know, that was a magazine that back in the day had nudie pics.
It had boobies.
I had a floppy disk with a collection of photographs on it of attractive men that I like found online or like got sent to me in an AOL chat room, and I would hide. It was bright red, and I would hide it in between my mattress and my box spring. So there's a little glimpse into Brandon's past.
My Vanna White Playboy issue was hidden between my box spring and my mattress.
Nice.
Vanna White.
So
that would have been 1987, I think.
Give me an A. Takes on a whole new meaning.
Buffy suggests that she and Jonathan go after the monster because Jonathan says he has that mark on his shoulder so that he'll remember not to underestimate the demon next time he sees it. So Jonathan goes with Buffy. They run into Spike, and Buffy threatens Spike by saying that if he doesn't work with them, or that Jonathan is the butchers respect Jonathan and they'll pull the blood that Spike is drinking.
Why do you think this is good?
But this is quick. But I like that it was Buffy's quick thinking because she's already broken somewhat the spell, and so she's using knowledge to get what she needs. Because normally, if she was still under the spell, she wouldn't have taken the initiative to fight Spike. But now that she's somewhat back to normal Buffy, she kind of could. But she
I didn't get that. I got that. She's gonna defend Jonathan. She's gonna stand up for the person she idolizes.
See, I thought the other way. I thought she was already breaking a spell, and Jonathan was about to walk away because he didn't want the information to get out.
Oh, and because Jonathan being scared weakens him, and
so she pushed it further with Spike. Where normally earlier in the episode, if Jonathan said that's it, she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm too weak to figure this out." Whereas in this one, she pushed Spike farther, and she kind of used the idea of, "Oh, well, Jonathan has the pull that will take away your blood supply, so you got to do something."
You may have a point.
So Willow is looking through some books about this symbol, and they find it in a book, and that they find out that he did an augmentation spell to make himself a paragon of everything that's ideal and wonderful in the world.
And Riley immediately assumes that the augmentation spell gave him a big dick.
Yeah. Did it
immediately? That's where Riley's head is.
Yeah.
Doyle for sure already has one. I
agree. He's like a kickstand.
Absolutely disproportionate.
I just like that Xander says like, "Oh, so he did a spell to make himself look cool." That is so cool. Like,
yeah. Because Xander did the same thing with the love spell thing too. It's very similar.
And interestingly, Xander just says the magic words, and the book bursts into flames, which tells us something about the way magic works. Not magics, like the way Adam says it. Magics. The downside is that the spell has to create an opposing force of evil to balance the new force of good. So Giles says that if they kill the monster, the spell's going to be broken, and Jonathan will revert to whatever he was before that. And Anya is the one that points out that Jonathan probably doesn't want Buffy to win this fight. Jonathan and Buffy go into this cave to find the demon. They see a pit. Jonathan reaches for her hand. And we think for a second that Jonathan is going to throw her into this pit. That's how it's shot. It's like heavily implied that Jonathan is going to try to kill Buffy here, so that she won't make the demon go away, and therefore all of his fame and whatever. But he grabs her wrists and reminds her that they're hunting a monster. Monster shows up. Did you think that on his face was that debate? Kill Buffy or save Buffy and give up my own coolness?
I thought it was implied through the tone of those scenes that he was thinking about that he was planning on making sure she's dead, especially when it goes right from Anya saying, well, Jonathan's not going to want Buffy to get very far.
Yeah. Well, when they were standing right by the precipice, the way Jonathan's face looked, to me, it was like he's debating, because it's Buffy's life against his coolness.
Yeah. I definitely felt that way too. That it definitely seemed implied that was something, but ultimately, we'll talk about that in a second. So the monster shows up, knocks out Jonathan, clink, clink, clink. And, so we're back at Giles' place. No, it's okay. The gang is considering what the world's going to be like if the spell's broken. Willow is trying to come to terms with the fact that Buffy was right about something, and Giles points out that everything's going to be the same except there won't be this like super Jonathan, and Riley says that if Buffy can't kill the monster, that they're going to be stuck in their alternate reality forever. They're back at the cave. Jonathan recovers, knocks out the monster, attacks the monster, but it has no effect. He explains all the fighting to Buffy and what she'll have to do, and he starts to lose his the effects of the spell, right?
Right.
So Jonathan tackles the monster from behind, and Jonathan and the monster fall into the pit. Buffy grabs Jonathan's ankle. Monster falls, dead. We're good. We see a huge light go through Sunnydale, take down all the Jonathan signs, everything, like all the famous Jonathan stuff. And the next day we catch up with Buffy and Jonathan on campus, and Jonathan and Buffy have a nice little chat. And I really like the scene where they have their little chat. And he says, all that stuff. I don't really remember what I said, but whatever I said, it seemed like the right advice, or whatever. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments and my notes and talk at the same time.
The only thing I wish that they would have done in that scene is kind of like he mentioned the fact that he did it because he just wants friends and stuff again. And I wish that Buffy, I know that she does it well in the fact of saying that what you did wasn't the right way to go about things. But I wish she kind of, I don't know, said something like, but you have friends, or we are your friends still in some way. But instead it just kind of was like that was just naughty. Don't do that kind of thing. It's like,
yeah, but I think that Jonathan, like the bigger takeaway there was that Jonathan is like remorseful and like
totally
understands what he did was wrong and whatever.
But he's not the most stable person either. We know that.
No, and this isn't the last we'll see of Jonathan either. Just that's not spoilery, but we will be seeing more Jonathan. And Xander misses the way that Jonathan made him feel about himself. Jonathan. So Jonathan says that he learned the spell from a boy that he met after he went to counseling after he tried to commit suicide. Buffy tells him, like, fix things one at a time. Things take time. Don't try to fix everything all at once, which I thought was very sweet. And then we go back to Buffy and Riley. They've made up. They're on the dorm bed. They're about to bang, and Buffy moans Jonathan's name. That's the last scene.
I love it when they do a closing shot that makes me laugh. They've done it a bunch of times. And this one,
I also like that Riley kept mentioning, I felt really, really tall. Did you feel really tall? I felt super tall.
Did you catch the dialogue as she's walking away with Jonathan? You can still hear the gang and like, I don't understand how he got a mansion.
Yeah,
exactly.
The twins moved out.
Oh yeah, the twins moved out. Before we get to our final thoughts, let's go over a little bit of trivia. First of all, when Jonathan is playing the trumpet in the bronze, he's actually syncing the notes. He learned how to finger the notes from a family member, which is quite interesting. We talked about his singing voice and the opening credits. I'm trying to see if there's anything else notable. There's a prequel comic book written about this called Jonathan Codename Comrades that was written as a tie-in.
It's Jonathan Codename
Comrades. Yes. And it's very funny. I've read it. This episode also addresses the correlation between memory and identity, which is a theme that's explored quite a bit throughout the series. So let's talk about our final thoughts and a letter rating, and let's start with our guest, Will.
I knew it was ridiculous from the first minute or two, so I expected it. It was enjoyable. Like I said, the little parts that I had problems with were small. I didn't care for Adam. I thought that was worthless. I felt Jonathan was here for fun. So I don't know. I gave it a B plus. It was good. It wasn't fantastic, but I enjoyed it.
BJ.
I loved the episode. Right at the beginning, the Scooby Gang is so useless. And it made me think like, they kind of always are, which is which is like a serious hashtag acceptance that any of them are still alive, but whatever. I really, I would give this an even better score, except the first 10 minutes or so were a little slow and a little awkward. But when it finally picked up, I laughed so many times. I have nothing else to add. A-.
Jewel.
Okay. I'm sorry, Brandon. I did not love this episode the way you said I would.
I didn't say you would. I said I do.
You know what? It's a recommended episode, and I don't recommend it to anyone else.
In Jules' defense, on IMDb, this is running a 6.8, which is really low. It's one of the lowest.
I thought it was going to be a musical at first, so I was kind of happy it wasn't.
I was hoping it was going to be a musical. I was hoping it was because you talked it up, Brandon. You were like, it's great. I was like, this is stupid. This is like a dumb episode. This is a fuck. We have an episode to write this week, and we have been trying to make this angel thing happen, so we haven't been paying attention.
The one thing I like...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, one thing I really liked about this episode that they kind of did is they filled up a lot of like space and holes of story that they didn't want to go too in depth with by giving information in this tricky way. Like they filled up the whole Riley Buffy situation in a way that was kind of fun without having to give a whole episode to it. They talk about Adam and how to defeat Adam in a quick way. So I feel like there's a lot of exposition that was really good in the fact that we don't have to watch a whole episode trying to figure that out now. And it's there.
Well, okay. Well, I will give you that. I will give you that. However,
the musical episode does that too.
But why are they doing this now? Because all of these storylines were fucking stupid. They were. Adam, stupid. Riley, loved having you around, also stupid.
So what's your letter rating?
Brandon, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm going C-. I'm not pleased.
Oof. Brandon, I have a hypothesis here before you continue that perhaps you and I like it so much more is because we know Jonathan from later, and maybe no.
The day this episode aired,
really,
I decided it was my favorite episode.
Okay.
It aired the day after my birthday. I will never forget it. So let me explain. Let me defend myself for a second here. The reason I love this episode so much is, first of all, the writing is fabulous. The comedy lands. It's different than everything that we've seen in prior episodes.
No,
it's not like any other episode that we've seen so far.
Yes, it is.
It's not. It's really not. But okay. So it's not like any episode we've seen so far. The writing is good. The plot lines, as Will pointed out, the stupid plot lines that everyone was getting sick of by this point are wrapped up nicely in a box and sent away forever in this episode. I love Danny Strong. I love his acting in this episode. I think that he is hilarious. I think that he plays up that confident whatever thing so well after playing Jonathan, who is this sort of weak character from the earlier episodes. And I love the music in this episode. I think is really well done. And chaotic, and also so out of the genre of Buffy that it works to tell you that this is a different world. This isn't the real world.
Between swing music and James Bond theme, absolutely a step up from typical.
In my opinion, it can swing on out of here.
The set design in this episode is also fantastic. All of
differences
the props,
of opinion are totally okay, even when Julie's dead wrong.
Brandon, I feel like you would like Gilmore Girls more just because Doyle's character is like a strong Jonathan in a way. Or at least believes he is. I'm surprised you don't like it more.
I'll give Jonathan full credit in the fact that he went from this suave kind of cool thing, and then he went at the very ending how meek he suddenly was, but how sincere his conversation to Buffy was before he forgot the memory. It was such good acting in the fact of here's this over the top character to back to reality of bad, but still trying to be a good person within it. It was a good struggle. I thought he did a really good job.
Back to the
I did too. And I am going to say that because of the narrative turns, the episodes of Buffy that I love are the ones that break from the mold that is Buffy. We have one coming up at the end of the season also called Restless, which is the actual season finale, though it doesn't have much to do with the story for the rest of the season. And it's also one of the best episodes, in my opinion. I am going to say...
I don't know about that.
That's fine. I'm going to give this episode an A+. This is my favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a standalone episode.
Not absolutely.
In the entire
You
series.
saw that coming. We all saw that coming. He's been hyping this one forever.
So let's... Hey, Jewel.
Stop.
Hey, should we talk to the kids about Buzzsprout?
You know it.
Well, we did a lot of research into podcasting services when we decided to launch Garagcast, and Buzzsprout is by far the easiest, most convenient way to get your podcast live.
Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording.
And you don't need fancy audio equipment to get the ball rolling. You just need a microphone, some headphones, and a little dream. Not unlike Jonathan has in this episode. And when you're ready to upgrade, Buzzsprout has tons of guides to help you find better equipment at the best prices.
You'll get a great-looking podcast website, audio players that you can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, tools to promote your episodes, and more.
Buzzsprout believes that podcasting should be accessible to everyone, and their easy-to-use website takes all the guesswork out of recording, posting, promoting, and monetizing your podcast.
Join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. Use the link in our show notes to sign up or go to gerardcast.buzzsprout.com for more information. Remember to use the link so Buzzsprout knows that Gerardcast sent you, and you'll receive a free $25 Amazon gift card. And tomorrow is Cyber Monday, so that will be worth a lot more money.
Yes. Gerard. Hey, what about Rent the Runway, Joel? Don't you love Rent the Runway?
Brandon, I fucking love Rent the Runway.
Let's talk about it.
Who needs a closet full of clothes when you can rent the runway?
With Rent the Runway, women don't have to spend thousands of dollars and fill up their closet with the latest fashions. Subscribe to Rent the Runway to get today's hottest looks for no additional cost.
Rent the Runway is changing the way we do fashion. No longer do you have to schlep to the nearest boutique clothing store, deal with the crowd, spend thousands of dollars on clothes that may or may not fit, only to realize you hate the dress you just bought. Rent the Runway empowers women by allowing them to rent unlimited designer clothes for a low monthly membership cost.
Rent the Runway features clothes and accessories from over 700 of today's top designers, all the names that you love: Adidas, Halston, Coach, Marc Jacobs, Jonathan Levinson, Gucci, Christian Siriano, and Vera Wang.
Wang gang! Rent the Runway is not going to send you a box full of random stuff. Pick the styles you actually want, whether you want the new items delivered to your front door every week or you're looking for a monthly wardrobe pick-me-up. What and how you rent the runway is entirely up to you. All items will arrive dry cleaned, sterilized, and ready to wear in a reusable garment bag. Use the link provided in the show notes to sign up, and you'll get $30 off of your first order. Don't shop for fashion. Rent the Runway.
Rent the Runway. Hashtag Wang Gang. Also, Joel, did you hear what I did there?
No.
When I was naming the designers?
Did you say someone's name right?
I said Jonathan Levinson.
Who's that?
Jonathan.
That's Jonathan from the episode.
We should watch this episode, Superstar. It's got
He's a designer. He's a basketball player. He's in the Matrix.
His name is Doyle. His name is Doyle. So I'm not going to register it unless you say Doyle Jonathan. I still don't know who Jonathan is because his name is Doyle.
He's got a Grammy Award.
His name is Doyle.
And he's never left Sunnydale.
He's never left.
I don't know what Doyle's last name is either. I only know that it's Doyle and he works at the paper.
So incidentally, our episode of Angel that we covered this week is also about dreams of fame. We are covering an episode.
Shoot me now. Can I eat my salad while you talk about this?
We're covering it. No, we're covering an episode called Eternity. Angel befriends a television star with a dream of becoming eternally young and beautiful. So that we can get through this pretty quick because, like most Angel episodes, it's one note and it goes away pretty quickly.
It hit a note.
My note said, "Can Angel get dumber?" Oh, it can. That's what my note was.
So, well, let's talk about this because I think there's we'll talk about it. So
what do you think, Brandon?
The episode starts with Angel and Wesley watching Cordelia rehearse for a play. She doesn't know her lines. She's a terrible actress. Her costume is atrocious. She leaves
Who wants to watch a 100-year-old play?
Right. They all leave the theater. They all leave the theater, and they see this agent or talent manager across the street, Oliver Simon, that we've met in a previous episode, I think. Who cares?
Some party.
I would tell you if I had.
And a famous actress that's his client, Rebecca Lowell. Lowell. What was it? Lowell.
Who just daydreams out into the middle of the street. Not under
She
a spell.
daydreams into the street. A driver tries to kill her. Angel pushes her out of the path. She's obsessed with Angel. She goes to him, and they ask for Angel's help to help her with like a fan that's stalking her. He won't take the case. Cordelia gets mad about it because, you know, this was her chance at becoming famous in Hollywood.
Sorry, I almost fell asleep there.
Hang on. Let's go back for a second. Card's gonna run her down.
We have to.
Because we know that this is just set up by her manager. What was the plan here? That a car was going to have a near miss with her in the street, and that he knew that she was going to be wandering into the street at the right time? This is more than hashtag acceptance. This is just
stupid.
This whole episode is stupid. First off, Angel's her bodyguard, and when they do the red carpet, he can't have any pictures taken of him. So he's putting himself in front of everybody where they're taking pictures, and he's a vampire, and they don't come through.
Wait, do we know that vampires
Yeah.
don't show up in film?
That's how cameras work.
But do we have that as? First of all,
that has been said before.
Yep.
I mean, there are mirrorless cameras.
Not then there aren't.
Not then there aren't.
Just stupid all around.
Yeah, that's
it's embarrassingly stupid. Do you think Joss is like, fuck, I
Well,
still don't know that.
And then this actress, if she wants to become a vampire, she'll never be able to act again because she can't be on film. So that makes me dumb too. Like everything was written so bad. I was just no.
And you have issues with Twilight. I'm just saying. Girl, please.
Diamonds. Vampires that are diamonds.
More believable than this shit.
I can't.
So she goes to Angel's house.
I can't argue that now because this is terrible. This is worse than terrible. This is
dumb.
Jewel, eat your salad. So this girl comes to Angel's office and she asks for him to be her bodyguard. He goes, as Will said, with her to the red carpet. Yada yada. Who cares? Oh. She finds out that that he's a vampire because she is standing in a mirror with him. She's eating her salad. No, that she's eating her salad. She's standing. My brain just mixed things that are happening in real life and things that happen in the stupid episode.
It's still better than Angel. Oh.
She's yeah. She finds out that he's a vampire, and then she gets the wild idea that she wants to be young forever because she's 20-something years old, and she won't be that. First of all, that actress is 36.
She looks good. I mean, she looked good.
I don't know. I thought she looked old, and I did not love her. But also, Brandon, I feel like the viewers and our followers and our fans would rather watch me eating a salad for an hour ASMR style than to be able to be subjected to this Angel episode again. This was cruel and unusual punishment for anyone who had to watch it.
She was 30 years old when this episode was shot.
Okay. Right. Cordelia was so awful in this episode. She was
terrible.
Yes. This was the worst I've ever seen. Yes, so bad. Like the worst Cordelia ever out of anything. Is this
when Joss started to not be a fan of charisma because he's giving her bad dialogue? Or is it just this episode is bad?
She had bad dialogue.
She had bad dialogue this episode.
And there were a couple of funny moments.
When they weren't getting along?
So I just want to get through the points of what happens in this episode. It's almost done, I promise.
Brandon, there is no point to this episode.
Hold on. We gotta do this. We do this with every episode. Let's get it done. So she decides that she wants to be a vampire so she can be young forever. And she goes over to Angel's place and she gives him champagne and she spikes it with a drug that causes bliss and euphoria. And for Angel, bliss and euphoria means that he becomes angelous and he's a monster and he tries to torture her, and who gives a fuck? I agree. I'm just trying to say it. That's all I've been trying to do this whole episode. Just say what happens. And everyone gets mad at me.
Not you, just Angel.
Yeah. And eventually, I did like the bit where Cordelia's like, I have this bottle of holy water and whatever. And she's like, the priest comes over and blesses it. That scene was very nice.
Out of the whole show, one good scene.
IMDb's trivia mentions that this is not the first. This is the first time, but not the last time that Cordelia shows that she actually can be an excellent actor, just apparently not professionally.
Chooses not to be. So Angel gets chained up. The drug runs out. He wakes up the next morning, and he's fine again. And Cordy is angry because when Angelus was Angelus, he said mean things about the play that she was in, and that's the end of the episode. And then she leaves, but she leaves him chained up. And haha, how funny. Okay.
And Wesley's also justifiably pissed because Angelus says mean things to him too.
But she was more mad at Angel for not being honest than what Angelus said, because she even says like, "It's true though. You do believe those things." Like,
go ahead, Joel.
I'm just raising my hand at this point because I'm confused about something. Okay. When do Cordelia and Wesley become an item?
In Buffy season 2?
No,
Three.
But now.
3?
Now, in Angel.
Maybe they do and maybe they don't.
Why am I watching this if they don't get together?
Other good things happen.
Listen, BJ, have any good things happened in the show yet? Any? Just name one. Just name one. One good thing. I'll wait. We'll wait.
I decline. I am not.
The bit about the holy water was nice. Anyway, before we get to our final thoughts, as if you haven't heard them already, I do have a little bit of trivia. The mansion that Rebecca lives in is also the set of the Lady Gaga music video Poker Face, which is quite interesting. Poker
Face. I hardly know her face.
That's pretty much all I got. Also, I'm so sorry to say this, but I did not do our foreign language titles on Superstar. But I will go back and do them.
Superstar.
The German title for this Angel episode is Für immer jung, or Forever Young, and the French title is Jeunesse éternelle, or Eternal Youth. Let me find our Superstar foreign titles. One moment.
I mean, it sounds pretty, so yay French.
Okay, here's our foreign titles for Superstar. There's only two. The French title is Superstar, and the German title is Jonathan.
Yes, German. It's so good. Just Jonathan.
Okay.
It's stupid.
Let's do our final thoughts and our letter rating of the episode Eternity from Angel. Let's start with you, Jewel Rocket Rose.
Who?
You?
Me?
You.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, I don't think it is fair for me to grade this even on the Angel scale, because I have rated episodes lower that were better than this.
Jewel, is it possible that your disdain for these two episodes is mostly based on the fact that I reminded you that we had a podcast today like 2.5 hours ago and you had to rush to watch them quickly?
No, because I had to sit there and watch them.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I had to sit there and pay attention, and
go ahead. Okay.
Got devastatingly hard this week. How stupid! Like on a level, like it's not a good week for Buffy, because usually the Buffy is the saving grace, but it's not a good week for Buffy, and it's not a good week for Angel. When is it ever a good week for Angel? I'm still not sure, but I don't know. You do
so what's your
minus?
Okay, BJ.
Is that a thing? Can I do an F minus?
Sure.
Is that
why not?
Yeah, F minus. Yes, will.
Angel says that Frank Langella is the only real Dracula for him. And I got to say, Frank Langella's Dracula from 1979 is the first time I ever saw a movie that scared the ever-loving piss out of me. I was 7 years old, and holy shit, I should not have watched that movie. Other than that, I just got to agree, Cordy is not funny and not okay when she's bitchy and jealous and terrible. Such a waste. She makes up for it with those red pants at the end of the episode, but it's not quite enough. I gotta say, as weird as this is, the actress who plays Rebecca, what's her name, Tamara Gorski, I thought was really good. and completely out of place in the episode. If she was given a better script and a better show, she'd be fantastic. I looked her up and not famous. Didn't she's been in a bunch of things I saw, but nothing major.
She reminded me of the praying mantis lady.
I don't remember what she was like, but anyway, yeah, like from the very beginning, I thought her
look was
a better class of acting than anybody else on the show, which seemed weird and wasted on this very dumb episode. But every time she was on screen, I kind of appreciated just watching her perform. So I'm giving it a C+ because it was otherwise shit.
Will.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I can't stand Cordy as a fangirl. That was awful. The whole idea, I get the hashtag acceptance, but they completely reversed everything. The fact that he can't be in pictures, but he's in the spotlight in front of everybody. And the fact that an actress wants to be a vampire to be young, but then she can never be an actress. That's stupid. The whole thing with magic is either works or doesn't work. So the idea that a drug will take it away temporarily, and they had to keep saying over and over again by Wesley going, oh, but the spell's not broken. The spell's not broken. But he can still be Angelus, was really stupid to me because
he also had no way of knowing that.
Right. But the idea again of, I feel like with this world set up with magic gets broken or it stays. You can't like temporarily turn it off and then turn it back on. So I felt that was stupid. The episode was super slow.
Is with being in the sunlight, Angel can turn it on and off.
Well, yeah, it's true. I mean, he is in the sun all the time. But yeah, this was an F-. This was awful. Everything.
High five, Will. High five.
Isn't it better?
This is on the Angel scale. Can you imagine what it would really be if it was on the Buffy scale?
I know. It would be like an M or an N.
And to everybody
get a point because Angelus shows up and he's just so much better than Angel.
It's just so slow and it's bad written. Like there was nobody, whoever wrote this didn't look up any of the lore and just said, yeah, this looks like a good idea, and it was not. It was just, it's bad.
It's not gonna fail, it's an incomplete.
I promise I'm still in this, and I'm still gonna keep trying to watch this, but man, this is rough to watch. Angel is so rough, people. I'm trying.
Someone named Tracy Stern wrote this episode.
F-. It was so bad. It was
okay. So my final thoughts on this episode are as such. Everything that everyone has said is correct. All of the criticisms of this episode are entirely correct. I do think there's a theme that was there that a more competent show could have explored it in a different way about remaining young in Hollywood and this desire for women to look a certain way for the rest of their lives, and for this character that they're famous for to always be 24. Joan Collins talked about this a lot when she talked about being on Dynasty. Like that character of Alexis Carrington is something that people will always remember looking like that. And then when they see Joan Collins now, they're just like, ooh. And that's something that
you know, Alexis, you're too young to know that. I knew that, but Alexis Carrington.
There's a theme there that there could be something to say. And I appreciate the effort to attempt to explore that theme. And it failed in every single way possible. This episode for me, the holy water scene brings it up a peg for me, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a D-. It's pretty bad. And worse than being pretty bad, it's entirely inconsequential. Nothing happens that matters. And who gives a shit? So, hey guys, next week we're going to be back and we have a 2-part Buffy episode next week.
Thank God.
Yay.
Praise the Lord.
However,
insert your preferred deity here and thank them.
I'll tell you, the 2 episodes that we're covering are Where the Wild Things Are and New Moon Rising. And Where the Wild Things Are is perhaps my least favorite episode of Buffy the Vampire.
I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it on principle.
And New Moon Rising is the return of a character that we haven't seen in a while, and the title should give away who that character is. New Moon Rising,
it's going to be Oz. It has something to do with the dog.
And then the week after that, we have a 2-part Angel episode, and those episodes are called 5x5 and
which is
Sanctuary.
5x5 would be Faith. So she hopefully
Faith
brings up Angel.
Okay, maybe she'll help it. How long does she stay?
That's her phrase. That's what she says, right? 5x5. Mm-hmm. That's her phrase. Okay.
What does that mean, by the way?
Who knows?
I think it's military.
No, it's some. I've read about it before. It's just some weird Boston shit. like everything from Boston. Hey,
Term
guys.
5x5 is rooted in communications within military forces through World War II. To mean I understand you perfectly. The first number represented the signal strength of radio communication. The second number represented the signal clarity on a scale from 1 to 5. So screw you. I knew what I'm talking about.
BJ,
Great.
Google, why do people in Boston say 5x5?
Because they're big fans of the military.
BJ, Google, why do we watch Angel?
So
yeah, Google that, BJ.
Hey guys, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GerardCast. It's $5 a month to sign up, and you have exclusive access to our private Facebook group. You get our full-length interviews with our guests. You get we share recipes, we talk. It's a real good time. And also we have some merch coming out pretty soon that we'll be posting exclusively for our Patreon subscribers first. If for some reason you want to advertise that you watch this show, that's pretty much what we got for this week. We'll be back next week with our Buffy 2-parter. Will, thank you for joining us again. It's always nice to have you.
Will, I love when you join us.
Well, thank you. I enjoy being here.
BJ, thank you as always, and I'm sorry about your fingy. Jewel.
Oh, poor BJ.
Jewel, see you in a week. Try not to have a salad. And I will
I have my whole salad to finish.
Bye, guys. Grr.
Oh, grar.